New South Wales, we need to have a discussion about what's going on in our state. There aren't many parties to vote for, and today we're going to focus on the Nationals Party and why you should not be voting for them at all in the next state and in the next federal election. So besides what's going on a state level, with John Barilaro attacking the producer of Friendly Geordies and Friendly Geordies himself, we've had over the weekend a vote to deny John Anderson the top Senate spot in the National Party for the upcoming federal election. Now, in the next federal election, there'll be 6 Senate spots for New South Wales. There'll be 6 per state. They go up for re-election. And the way it works in the National Party when they're picking who will be the top spot is there's a set of about 81 electors exactly that will meet together and they'll vote. Over the weekend, they decided John wasn't the best person, even though he was the acting Prime Minister during 9/11 and he was the Deputy Prime Minister under the Howard years. The votes went 42 against John and 39 for John. The guy that decided that ended up getting the spot, you won't even know who he is if I showed you his face. His name's Ross Cadell. Ross is someone I don't think anyone's heard of, and the theme of today's episode is basically what Nigel Farage always says. Who are you? Because I've never heard of you. I've never voted for you in the past. I don't know what to expect from you. John Anderson over here, he's got an incredible history. He's got tens of thousands of watched hours online, millions of hours watched online from the amount of viewership he's gotten. And that's why I've got this image here displayed of him with Jordan Peterson and Dave Rubin. I'm going to read an article for you guys, and I think you're going to find it quite interesting. It's from a brilliant writer called Greg Sheridan at The Australian. If you guys don't have a subscription, I definitely recommend The Australian. They do some good stuff. This is the title of the article: Nationals Diminish Party on John Anderson. The Nationals Party has never shown itself in a more contemptible light than in its ridiculous and appalling decision to refuse the service of a former Deputy Prime Minister, John Anderson, as its lead Senate candidate in New South Wales. The Nationals Party is a dysfunctional mess, losing its support and losing its dignity. It is consumed by the petty jealousies of factionalism, appealing to the public with a figure of stature and consequence such as John Anderson is far less important than simply maintaining internal factional control. The National Party are divided, internally rancorous and in much disarray as any other party in Australia. They are a particular mess in New South Wales. They won the recent Hunter by-election, and though this was a great victory, the Nationals' primary vote was barely a tick above 30%. When John Anderson was the leader of the Nationals Party in the Howard years, it regularly scored 60% in many of those Hunter booths. Anderson is not diminished by this ridiculous pre-selection result. He is a figure of the highest quality in Australian national life, and for 6 years he was Deputy Prime Minister and a full-time partner in the most successful post-war government. He is a moderate, articulate conservative. His integrity is a byword and is universally respected in all quarters of Australian politics and society. He lives and works on the family farm in country New South Wales, 2 hours beyond Tamworth. He's a farm guy. He works with his hands. Yet he is a widely consulted policy thinker called on by the Australian and foreign governments for advice. That's absolutely true. His website and podcasts, in which he explores with guests profound policy, political and cultural issues, is a massive international success. Massive. His web interviews has over 14 million YouTube views and has been seen on many other sets of media as well. His podcasts have had 600,000 audio downloads, and his website has a monthly Facebook reach of 14,000. These numbers, they're not even in Ross Cadell's lexicon, for God's sake. So, of course, the factionality-obsessed New South Wales on the road to political liquidation and intellectually bankruptcy, they have no interest in a figure like that. Instead, aping the worst features of the factionally obsessed Labor Party, it has chosen 2 former party employees as its number 1 and number 2 Senate candidates for New South Wales at the next federal election. The community should understand that the National Party are not interested in the great world. They are entirely obsessed with themselves and the minuscule results of internal conquest. Anderson has a very good life outside politics. He was drawn to the arduous business of offering himself for service once more because he can see the enormous difficulties that Australia faces. the need to repair the budget, the overwhelming need to address the Nationals' gaping national security vulnerabilities, and the equally pressing need to restore some decency and civility to political debate. Instead, the party went for anonymity and factional conformity. If the outcome reflects the influence and preferences of the New South Wales Deputy Premier John Barilaro, then he is fully as foolish as his public interventions sometimes suggest. Greg Sheridan. Now let me tell you what I really think. The National Party are absolute fools. What they've done has not only compromised their own party and their own growth as a party in acquiring more political power, but it lessens Australia. How does Australia as a whole, left, right, centre, whatever, because you need two wings to fly as an eagle, how does Australia benefit from having this guy sit on the bench and constrained to helping other countries? He should be helping our country. He should be at the forefront. The guy's not old. For those of you that don't know, he had to leave politics relatively early because of health concerns. He was young. He is still young. He's like 65 or something. We've got bloody Joe Biden in the US who's approaching 80, and we're not willing to take this sharp fellow, John Anderson. It's no secret I know John Anderson personally. It wasn't Ross Cadell that helped me in with my university when my university threatened to not allow me to graduate because I wouldn't complete mandatory sexual consent training to receive my results. That wasn't a part of the agreement with my university. I haven't done anything wrong. Why do I have to do this mandatory testing? Now that's another issue, but the point was it was John Anderson that was there helping me. Ross Cadell, who are you? You know, maybe you're a great bloke. I don't know a thing about you. But the point is, that is the point. I don't know who you are. The Australian people know who John Anderson is. We know the traction he can get with the voter, and we know he's had success in the past, and his wealth of knowledge is there. I mean, talk about experience. You won't find anyone else more experienced, except maybe John Howard, but he's much older, and his years are done. Why would you say no to a man like John Anderson like that? It's ridiculous. Now, we live in a democracy, of course. I understand that you need to vote in these branches to get the people voted up in the branches that you want, and be the 81 selectors that go and select. I get that process. I understand that, and that is a lesson for a lot of Australians. I'm not telling you to join the major parties. I'm telling you, but this is what happens when you don't join the major parties, and this is something Jordan Peterson taught me, where responsibility has been abdicated, opportunity lurks. If you don't seize that opportunity, someone else will. So what's happened in the Nationals Party over the last few decades is the wrong sort of people have been seizing, or the people that you disagree with, have been seizing power, and they've been stacking these branches. They've been getting votes so that they can put their guys in there. They've been stacking it with their guys. Now, when it comes to that sort of situation, you can't get a John Anderson in because his guys aren't in there anymore to help him. That's what happens when you sit out of the political process. Now, look, I'm fine if you want to create your own party and do whatever you want, but that's how we got here. You need to know how we got here if you're going to know how to fix it going in the future. Now, I'm not telling you to join a major party. You guys can sort it out for yourself how you want to fix this. This is how we got here. Now, with John Anderson, do you think he's going to try and put his name forward again? I don't think so. That National Party, it's not getting any more conservative. It's a cesspool. It's an absolute cesspool. Now, there's a ton of allegations that I haven't looked into. Some people are saying a bunch of different things, throwing the corruption word around. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But under John Anderson, that's not a question. The guy is above reproach. The guy has a proven record. He is one of the last statesmen that we have in this country. He's right up there with, John Howard and Mark Latham. They used to be the opposing leaders that ran against each other. They used to have really good debates. And now we're stuck with freaking Slow-Mo and Albanese, who can't tell which... They're walking both with two left feet. They're insane. Why would you deny the Australian people the benefits of a great statesman like John Anderson? Anyway, I could rant on a long time about this. John is an excellent man, and you guys really screwed up. Now, what am I hoping to achieve from this video? To show people how stupid you guys are. You are absolutely insane. Now, Greg Sheridan at The Australian, he said it a lot more eloquently than myself, and so did Alan Jones. What do I know? But I'm not afraid to say you guys are effing idiots, and we all pay the price for your idiocy. A time is coming when the major parties will not rule Australia. They will not be able to control what's going on, and the Australian people are seeing, they are waking up to, it's not even a cabal. You're just stupid at what you do. You don't know what the hell you're doing. No one takes responsibility for anything. No one is having a serious conversation. And you can't answer a damn question with a straight remark. This guy over here is as transparent as glass. This guy over here comes from a time when we actually used to trust our politicians. He is the one that's been talking about how it's really bad that Australians are not trusting their institutions anymore. He's the one that's been talking about how we need more trust in our politicians, and this is how we can do it. You're not going to get that from electing the same people. If you always do what you've always done, you're going to always get what you've always got. John is from a time when we could trust politicians, and you guys just messed it up. I hope someone else picks him up, and I hope he's open to it, because you guys seriously screwed up. I've said it 1,000 times. I think you get the message. You guys have a great day. Remember the Nationals in New South Wales. Remember what they did. They pushed abortion. Remember what they're doing to friendly Geordies, allegedly unleashing the anti-terrorism unit, just like what they're doing in America, unleashing anti-terrorism units on MAGA supporters. They're doing it to the producer of Friendly Geordies. That's what allegedly they're doing, I've got to say. And now on a federal level, you want to give us more reasons not to vote for you? Well done. Well done. Really well done. You guys know you're struggling right now to get the votes to win the next election. Let's see. We'll see what happens. You guys have a great day. I hope you guys remember to share this video. Remember to tell your friends that John Anderson was done hard by this. It was close by 3 votes, 42 to 39 votes. And the last thing I'll say is I'm about to play a video of John Anderson's life and some of the things he's been up to. This is what the National Party and what the Australian people are missing out of, because the idiocy of a party that's looking for self-preservation and, as Sheridan said, is more interested in factional politics. Enjoy.